man, I got a new show for y'all.
Got a damn good show. What Bobby Brown talking about?
Basically talking about it. He taught Mike how to like dance, do a form of the moonwalk. I'll just play the video.
I don't believe that.
You don't believe?
Bobby ain't teach Michael nothing.
There's a piece in this video where I cut in, what's his name? Ralph Tresvant.
Tresvant.
I remember him.
Yeah, kind of defending it. So it's going to be like split. So you're going to see him talking to Shannon, and then there's going to be like a part where Ralph is kind of defending him. Then it's going to come back.
You know
to
what's crazy? I remember Ralph Tresvant. Remember his little kids? Yeah,
Sensitivity.
Sensitivity, man.
We used to call him a Ralph Transvestite. All the kids used to do that. I think that was just me and you.
Yo, back then, I didn't know what that meant. Like, I didn't know what gay was until like later.
Be Kevin do.
Yeah, I do.
Like
I knew a lot of
12.
stuff I ain't supposed to know when I was 11 years old.
Man.
All right, let's go to that video.
He said me and Kevin did.
Is it true that you taught Michael Jackson how to moonwalk?
Sideways.
Okay.
Sideways, not
the backwards.
Not the back one.
But you go
Just go sideways.
right.
Oh, okay.
So how did you teach him? So what you went over to his house or
We went over to his house and we were doing it in front of him, New Edition. And
Right.
I don't know if he already knew how to do it, but I know that when we showed him, he was flabbergasted. He was like, wow.
Now, Bobby brought up that he was one who taught Michael how to do the moonwalk recently. He said this, and he said New Edition was in attendance when this happened. Can you confirm this?
You know, he's mentioned that to me before. He kind of tried to bring it back to my recollection. But I do remember when we were over his house, Michael was asked, because we did the moonwalk and that kind of stuff in the Candy Girl video. He was doing that stuff then.
Candy Girl.
That's Ralph?
Bobby Brown's the first person I ever saw do the moonwalk. What is that? And it just looked like somebody grabbed him by the back of his shirt, started pulling him. And it was like, that's fly. What's that? And, he didn't really have a name for it. He started doing the wave with his stomach, and he was just doing all this fly stuff that had to do with the style of dancing and was a master at it way back in the project. So I do remember when we been at the house, Michael asking him, I remember him asking him can he show him that move? I don't think he sat there and had the time to actually teach him over and over again, but he showed him that move and that he knew how to do it. And Michael was in awe about it. So
That's something new.
Right. So he put it in his thing and just
He perfected
it was over. There's always a debate.
Yo.
Who's the closest in your time? Who is the closest thing to Michael since Michael? You hear Chris Brown, you hear Usher.
I would go with Chris Brown.
Really?
I would go with Chris Brown.
Because of the dancing and the singing aspect
Chris
of it?
Brown is a dancer, singer, slash great entertainer.
Right, okay.
He goes out there and he does the ultimate stuff on stage, and you just have to love it. Usher's also a great entertainer, but I gotta go with Chris.
Yo, I agree. Chris Brown is, that's a bad boy. Straight up and down. Yeah,
I see that all over TikTok. He's the best singer and dancer.
Chris, all day. But you taught him sideways?
My thing was this, Chris. Have y'all ever seen New Edition do any moves like that?
None of that.
No. It was just beatboxing.
Because my thing, I was like, because I was watching it with my wife, and I was like, so if he taught them, whatever, I was doing that, why didn't you incorporate that into any of your routine?
I kind of did anything like that.
I do remember that side joint Bobby used to go, I remember that, to the side for a little bit. But you're right. But at the same time, you ever notice Michael Jackson's moves? No other group did any of his moves. I think he had it copyright like you can't. Because nobody really did his moves unless
nobody tried to do his moves.
Unless they were imitating Michael Jackson. They weren't doing it in no group. You notice that?
Oh, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know what you
probably too hard to do in a group, huh?
Yeah.
He probably gave it to him and had to sign a disclaimer, whatever thing.
I think people just be saying now.
Yeah,
they just be saying stuff because you can't verify.
Yeah,
it.
and Mike can't say.
He's on Club Shay.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's like, man, I gotta say some crazy calls.
Yeah.
You got Cat Williams and all these dudes out here just dropping bombs.
Yeah.
So he came up with his bomb, and his bomb was probably just BS.
That's what Club Shay has become, and that's why I watch it, because everybody that goes on there, you kind of expect them to say something crazy at some point, because that's what his show is.
There's a comedian named is D.L. Hughley. He said he's just like Wendy Williams. He's just like Wendy Williams, but with dumbbells. D.L. said that?
I don't get it.
He's Wendy Williams with dumbbells because he's a fit guy. He lifts weights and stuff.
DL is a hater.
Yeah, he won't go on that show.
Because Shannon Sharp gonna beat the hell out of him.
You think he's violent?
DL changed, man, to
he's
me.
Black. Of course he's violent.
DL changed,
He's probably
man.
got a short fuse.
Who, Shannon?
Shannon?
Yeah.
Dude, if he had a short fuse, he was going back and forth with Skip Bayless. He'd have reached around the table.
But he,
that one episode?
he's white.
Oh,
Yeah, he know everything will be going.
Hey, I was watching that like when they was coming, when him and Skip was coming to an end.
Yeah.
That one episode.
Yeah.
That was a little awkward to watch on television. I was like, yo, when the cameras cut, I don't know what's gonna happen, because Shannon was looking at him like, yo, when these cameras cut off,
it's over for you.
Yo, that's crazy how they used to go at it. Like, yo,
Chris Carter said that too.
Chris Carter,
Wide receiver used to play with Minnesota Vikings. He said, man,
Shannon to snatch you up. Yeah.
Yeah, he said, I forget exactly what he said, but he said when there was cameras off, he said, don't you ever talk to me like that again.
Yeah.
So Skip was in there. Skip would push your buttons.
Well, they Hall of Famers, right?
Yeah.
They're Hall of Famers, and then you got this guy
That
with a
was the
suit on,
problem.
and he think he
Yeah,
knows
exactly.
That's exactly what it is.
Oh, Skip.
You have this person who has never played a sport at a high level,
Right.
like me, degrading me. Like,
Exactly.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, he'll say, I don't know, Skip used to have those phrases like no King James and
Right,
like, stuff like
yeah.
that. He used to like take stabs at people, and it's
Provocateur.
and the one thing Stephen A said, he was like, Stephen A was like, the only thing you've really been great at is this. You've never played a sport, never to excel or whatever. Neither has he. Neither has Stephen A. But he said, and there's a level of respect. And Stephen A is kind of in that same, which is kind of ironic.
He's getting some backlash from
He's
players,
in
too.
that space now where he's pissing athletes off like Skip
Bayless.
used to.
Yeah,
so it's kind of ironic that that's happening. But that's where the athletes take.
Yeah.
You know what the problem
take
is, though?
problems with it.
You take an athlete, because like you said, Stephen A is going through the exact same thing.
Yeah.
For the last 3 years. I forget the other basketball player used to play for the Lakers.
Yeah.
He was calling him a bust. And
Yep.
I forgot his name. What was his name?
Remember what he used to call Bosch? Chris Bosch? Spice Bosch?
Yeah.
Was calling out his how feminine he was on the court.
Yeah.
What's that one guy? He was drafted in first round. I forget his name, but he came out recently talking trash about Stephen A. How he made it personal when he was talking about him when he was with the Lakers.
Yeah.
Saying he was a bust. I forget his name.
Kwame Brown.
Kwame Brown. Yeah, that's it.
There we go.
I forgot that name.
So
There
Kwame
we
was
go.
calling out Stephen A. And I think the pushback that people giving Skip Bayless is for the exact same reason. I think a lot of people who've played that sport, they think they're above reproach, that you can't criticize them.
Right.
Oh, you can't say that. You never did what I could do.
Right.
Yeah.
What I did in professional. So, because Stephen A is going through it right now with LeBron and
Stephen
he's
A,
talking about
Stephen A averaged 2.6 points a game.
I don't think Stephen A does what Skip does.
Right.
You don't have to belittle somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to like call them out of their name.
Yeah.
In a way, like, because they're still great. You know
They
what I'm
were
saying?
like, he's like gimmicky.
Yeah.
Stephen A's even gimmicky. He's always like clowning the Cowboys, wearing the hats. You got to be gimmicky if you never played the sport.
But I think when he was calling out
I'm
LeBron
just saying,
James-
shut up. Like Shannon Sharp, all these people that's Pro Bowlers, they can just talk to sport and have respect. But at a certain time, like when you didn't play, like Stephen A. and Skip Bayless, you have to be gimmicky to an extent.
Yeah, but you think he was being gimmicky when he called out LeBron for having his son in the league? Because there's just no way that dude should be in the league.
No,
There's no way in hell.
That was sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, that was a damn good show.
Damn.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I got a Dry Bar special out on the Dry Bar app. Please check it out. Also, I'm on season 2 of Behind the Comedian, season 2, episode 6. Show some love, man. Go watch that. Streaming on all the streaming platforms. Thank you.
Yeah.